Hello, brilliant minds. Welcome to my little corner of the internet space. If you're just in this space for the first time, hi, I'm Eno, and it's nice to meet you. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this page. You can invite your friends to like the page as well. That's how you support us. You can share it to as many people as you think it will be helpful for. With that, you're supporting us to reach out to much more students. And these students, they need this content to help them ace their chemistry exam or any other science exam that they might have. So today, we're going to be talking about the introductory part of chemistry. So you can see this as chemistry 101 because we're going to be talking about the atom, the elements, the compound mixtures, and subatomic particles. So let's begin. Now, talking about an atom, there is the basic definition of an atom. An atom is the smallest indivisible particle of matter. So remember that matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. An atom is the smallest indivisible particle of matter. So if you think about any solid substance that you can imagine or that you have around you, let's say an apple for an instance, you'd see that that apple is a solid. But then if you keep breaking it down, it's going to get to a point where you cannot divide it further. So that smallest indivisible particle is what we refer to as the atom of that apple. So just like we have different atoms for different substances, that's what we have for the different elements that have been discovered till date. So we have about 118 of them, and they have atoms that are different from one another. So what that means is that the atom of carbon will be different from the atom of hydrogen. But then it's just that we're talking about the smallest indivisible particle of hydrogen or carbon when we're referring to the atom of these elements. So for subatomic particles, we have three of them. So we have the proton, we have the neutron, and we have the electron. So these are very important because for one, the proton gives identity to the elements because the number of proton is what makes for the atomic number of that element. So you see that in the periodic table, elements have unique atomic number. There are no two elements that have the same atomic number. So what's responsible for that is the proton, and this proton is positively charged. Now we have the electron. The electron is negatively charged. The electron is very important because it plays a very important role in bonding. It's the electron that results in whether ionic bonding or covalent bonding, which is what we're going to talk about in subsequent videos. Now, the third subatomic particle that we have is the neutron. Like the name implies, neutron and neutral, they sound quite alike. So the neutron carries a neutral charge. It doesn't carry any charge at all. It's neutral. It's electronically neutral. No charge at all. So these are the three subatomic particles that we have of any substance. Now, you might ask, how is the neutron important, seeing that it doesn't have any charge? The neutron is very important because the sum of the proton and the neutron is what makes for the mass number. We refer to that as the mass number. You can also call it the relative atomic mass of any element. So if you look at the periodic table, usually you're going to see that the periodic table is like a chart where you have all the elements in place. So you're going to see the symbol of that element. You're going to also see the atomic number of that element. Then you're going to see the mass number. So a trick, if you're confused about which one is the atomic number or which one is the mass number, know that the smallest number is usually the atomic number, while the larger number that you have there is the mass number or the relative atomic mass. One and the same thing. They mean the same. They refer to the same thing. So it is the sum of the neutron and the proton that make for the mass number of an element. Now let's talk about the position of these subatomic particles. When I talk about position, where do you find them in an atom? So you see that in an atom, when you have the atomic structure, we have the nucleus, which is usually at the center of the atom. So in the nucleus of the atom is where you would find the proton and the neutron of that element. Then you have the electron revolving around the nucleus. They are not part of the nucleus, but they revolve around the nucleus in electron cloud. So if this electron cloud that forms energy levels, so we're going to talk about that. The first energy level is the level that is closest to the nucleus. So we could have the first energy level, the second energy level, the third energy level, and so on. So we call that shells as well. So the KLMN shell, and so on. Now there's a number of electrons that can be accommodated on each energy level or each shell, right, that orbits around the nucleus. So for example, the first energy level can only accommodate 2 electrons. The second energy level can accommodate 8 electrons, the third 8, the fourth 8. So you see for the first 20 elements, they occupy the first to the fourth energy level. So first to the fourth energy level is what the first 20 elements occupy because they have like a maximum of 20 electrons. So we'll look at electronic configuration in subsequent class as well. So I hope you've learned about subatomic particles today. If you have any question with regards to this lesson, please do well to drop it in the chat session. And